Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a farmhouse DIY and thrift flip video. I have 3 projects and it is also part of a collaboration, which I will get into after this first project. This first project is going to be a front door hanger. This wood round came from Hobby Lobby. It was a pack of 3. I believe they are 12-inch round and they're 1/2 inch thick. So I am using this for my wood round. Normally I do the thicker wood from Home Depot or Lowe's, but I had this available in my stash, so I'm going with this one. Now I am going to be doing like a faux stain on this, so I have watered down some Waverly Antique Wax so that it is more of like a stain rather than a wax, and I'm going to apply it to both sides of this wood round as well as the edges to make sure that everything is evenly covered, and then I'm going to set it aside for a couple hours for it to dry. While the wood round is drying, I'm going to get my mold ready. So I'm using this sunflower mold by IOD, and I'm also going to be using this casting resin. I do get it on Amazon. I will link it in the description. The IOD molds have the amount of liquid for each mold. So this one was, I think it was 64 milliliters for this large sunflower. So I'm doing equal parts of A and B, and I'm measuring it so that I will get roughly 64 milliliters when it is all combined. So I really like the fact that IOD has those measurements because I'm not going to be wasting any of this resin since I know exactly how much I need. So once I mix it, it is very quick to set up. So once I get it mixed thoroughly, I'm going to pour it into the mold. I'm going to set it aside. About 10 minutes later, it is white and it is warm and ready to be popped out. I love this casting resin. It makes projects so quick and easy. I have the typesetting as well as the farmhand stamps from IOD. I'll be using one of these for the wording. I decided to spell out the word welcome, and the the typesetting one is the stamp that I ended up going with. So I have everything, evenly spaced, and I have it how I want. And then I'm going to tape off the top and the bottom because I'm going to paint this inner portion white here. That way I'll be able to put the stamp as well as the mold on top of it, and it's going to create that nice farmhouse contrast with the stain as well as the white background. For this mold, I am using just acrylic paint to paint it. I'm doing a mixture of brown for the center portion and then a kind of more of like a mustardy yellow for the flower itself. When I think of a sunflower, I don't quite think of super bright yellow. I think more of the mustard kind of yellow, but this is, personal preference. So whichever colors that you have on hand or whichever colors that you like, this is where, you can have so much fun with the painting. And it actually is really relaxing, at least for me, to paint. I had a lot of fun, messing around with it. And then I'm taking the brown paintbrush that still had a little bit of the brown on it, and I'm just lightly brushing, on it, on the flower part itself, so that it's not just a harsh contrast between, the yellow and the brown. It kind of melds together. And then I had this like auburn, brown that I wanted to add to the center portion to kind of create a little bit more dimension. And then I set that aside to dry. Once everything was dry, then I brought everything back together with this wood round. I am, spacing out the letters again, and because I only have one E, I have to use a marker, for now, for one of the E spots. So that's why I have a different stamp at the very end, so I can make sure I have the correct spacing. I'm putting tape at the bottom so I know exactly where I need my stamp to go so that everything is centered. And then I'm using just permanent ink. I believe it is the Stays On brand. You can get it at, a craft store or even on Amazon. And I'm just applying, an even coat across all of the stamps except for the very last one. I do not want to stamp that other letter because that is permanent ink and I do not want to have to repaint this piece. So once I have everything, aligned properly, I'm going to hold one hand on the stamps as I use my other hand to, smooth across each stamp. That way I'm ensuring that the stamp isn't going to shift around and I won't get any like shadowing. And then I'm going to, take that extra E and place it at the very end. For the mold, I am using the Quick and Thick glue to, adhere it to the wood round. And then I'm gonna place something heavy on top of the sunflower so that there is, good pressure while it is drying. Once everything is dry, I let it sit overnight. And then I apply the Helmsman. It's polyacrylic, I believe, but it's for exterior purposes. And because this is a front door hanger, I'm not sure if it's going to get exposed to the elements. So I want to make sure that I have a good, a good seal on it. So I do one coat on the front and on the back, and then I'm going to make a bow. So I will try and explain how I do my bow as best as possible, but this is real time, so you'll probably be able to just see what I'm doing better than me explaining it. But I have 4 even pieces of ribbon here, and I'm going to fold each, over in half, and I'm going to pinch the middle section, and then I'm going to alternate between, the ribbon colors so that they're spaced, evenly apart. So I'm going to pinch all 4 in the center, and then to, put them all, hold them and secure them all together, I will be using a zip tie, and I'm just using a short zip tie. You can use a longer zip tie if you want, and then just cut it, whatever you have on hand. You can use twine if you need to as well. I just really like the zip tie because it's a really secure hold, but if you have ribbon or twine, that will work perfectly fine. Once the bow is made, I'm going to, mess around with the placement between the ribbon and the greenery. I ended up doing it, off to the side versus in the center because the sunflower was more towards the center of it. I decided the ribbon, off to the left would probably be a little bit more visually appealing. And I am just using my staple gun to attach the greenery and the ribbon to the wood round. You can use hot glue if you want, but I feel like this is a little bit more secure and more of a permanent hold, but hot glue is fine. So I really hope you guys like this first project. Like I said, today's video is a collab video, and it is with Donna at the Creole Crafter. She has tons of farmhouse inspiration, so make sure you check out my description box to get the link to her channel. Watch her video with this collaboration, give her a like and a follow. I know you guys are going to enjoy, and we're gonna hop right into the next project. I grabbed these little mini pots from the thrift store a while ago. I had an idea for the springtime and I never got around to it, so I am going to be doing it right now. It's still summertime, so these were spray painted on the inside, and I'm not sure why just on the inside. So I am going to even out everything with the white spray paint, and once that dries, I'm going to be adding salt wash to white chalk paint that I have. So this white chalk paint that I have is from Dixie Belle. It's called White Fluff, and I really like it because it's not super stark white. It's kind of creamy, but it's still definitely more white than cream. And I really wanted the salt wash to add texture to these terracotta planters. I wanted to see the brush strokes. I wanted it to kind of look like they were, pottery pieces. So that's what I was going for. I did 2 coats and I set them to the side and let them dry. And then I'm going back with the IOD stamps, but I'm using the typesetting stamps this time. And I'm going to put 1 stamp on each pot, and I'm going to be spelling out the word grow. So I found that using this, clear backing was going to be a lot easier to help apply each letter to the rounded surface. And just like the last time, I am, making sure that I have 1 hand or finger, you know, like holding the stamp down as I use my other fingers to move around for each letter. That way, again, there won't be any shadowing or any lifting up of the stamps. And then I'm sealing these with a couple coats of the Clear Matte by Rust-Oleum, and these are done. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. I grabbed this piece of wood from the thrift store a really long time ago. I know you can get these at the local craft stores as well, but I found it at the thrift store for like 50 cents, so I grabbed it there. And we're going to be doing a crackle / crazing effect on this, and I'm using the Crackle by Dixie Belle. You can also use, you know, straight up, you know, Elmer's glue if you do not have this crackle. If you only have glue on hand, this works the same way. And I do have other videos where I've used the glue instead of this crackle, and it works just as well. So this crackle, it is thick, and you want to apply it everywhere that you are going to want some crackle and crazing to happen when you apply paint. So with this crackle, I am just kind of going definitely towards the edges, and I'm just doing light coats on the top. You want to let this sit for several hours for it to be completely dry before you apply the paint to it. So when you're applying the paint, you want to do as minimal strokes as possible with the paint. So I'm kind of trying to load up my paint on my brush to where I can get as, you know, much paint on with one stroke as possible. If I have to do a couple strokes, that's okay. But the more strokes you do, it will affect how the crackle and crazing happens, because it's kind of mixing in with the paint. And while I was painting this, the crackle was actually happening. It works that fast. It's awesome. I really like this product. And then to help speed it along and help the drying process, I added heat with my heat gun. I am an impatient crafter, and I was really excited to work on this project, so I used my heat gun to help dry it, and it also enhanced the cracking. So if you don't want a lot of cracking, then I wouldn't add any extra heat to it, because you're going to get enough just as is. I printed this saying out a really long time ago. I have done it on another project, but I'm not sure if that was on my channel or if that was before I started my YouTube channel. So I can't remember. But I printed this out just on regular printer paper, and I'm using this carbon paper so that I can transfer the wording onto this wood piece. And if you have a Cricut machine or another vinyl cutter, you can definitely use that. But this is super crafter friendly for those that do not have a vinyl cutter. It takes a little bit longer, but you can still get the same effect. And I find it kind of relaxing to do this process actually. So I enjoyed this. But I'm just going to be tracing out the words you know, with the pencil, and I just keep checking to make sure that it is properly transferring onto the wood round. And then I'm going to take everything off, and then I'm going to use this permanent painter's pen. You can get them at Walmart. You can also get them on Amazon. And then I'm just going to trace over my pencil and fill in everywhere that I need to, and go from there. Like I said, this was really relaxing for me. And so this is sped up. Everything else has been real time as you've been watching this, but I didn't want to do real time for this because this did take me a little bit of time, but I hope you enjoy this process here. once it dried, I added hanging hardware to the back in case, you know, whoever buys it wants to hang it up in their kitchen, or it can just be propped up somewhere, but I wanted to have that option for somebody. And then I'm going to seal this with just a polyacrylic, and then this piece is done. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this project as well. I hope you all liked these farmhouse projects. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. And don't forget to check out the link in my description to Donna's channel. I hope you enjoy her video and her other videos as well. Have a great rest of the week, everyone, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.